I measured the diamond grains on 6 sharpening stones under the microscope. 2 of the 6 are not what the label says they are. So in this video, which stones failed? We shortly discuss the different types of sharpening stones, and we take a look at what the DMT Dia-Sharp 4000 and 8000 stone actually does to a knife's edge, and the measurements to prove it. So how do we do this? The sharpening progression is 220, 325, 600 to 1000 on the Sharpal diamond plates. That builds the baseline edge. And then I jump to the DMT Dia-Sharp 4000 and then the 8000. But before I sharpened anything, I put each stone under the microscope and measured the diamond grains. This is done on a calibrated microscope, so those measurements are 100% correct. And then the question is simple: is the grit rating on the box actually what you're getting? So first, the 220 grit Sharpal. So the normal particle size for a 220 grit diamond stone is roughly 68 to 77 microns. You can see the measurements on the screen. So out of the 16 measurements, only 2 land near the 77 micron mark. The majority are 100 to 140 microns, and there's even a grain at 182. This is not a 220 grit stone. These grain sizes correspond to roughly 150 grit and maybe even at best 180 grit. The stone is meaningfully coarser than advertised. That doesn't mean it's a bad stone, it cuts and it works, but it's not what the label says. Then we go to the 325 Sharpal stone. So for 325 grit, the normal micron size of the grains would be 44 to 45 microns. So only one of the measurements lands near the 44 micron mark. The bulk of the grains sit at 55 to 85 microns. So the same pattern as the 220. The stone is roughly running 1 grade coarser than rated. These grain sizes are more consistent with the 220 grit stone. So the 325 Sharpal is also not what the label says it is. So before we move on to the stones that passed, let me quickly explain how different types of sharpening stones actually work. This matters because it affects what you can expect from each one, and it explains some of what we're seeing under the microscope. 5 types. This won't take long. So first, the electroplated diamond stones. This is what both the Sharpal and the DMT Dia-Sharps are. A single layer of particles bonded to a steel plate with nickel electroplating. The diamonds sit in the nickel, partially embedded, partially exposed. As a consequence, you can have huge height difference and huge width differences, leaving an uneven scratch pattern. They do not self-renew the way bonded stones do. Once a diamond dulls or breaks out, it's gone. The plate often feels less aggressive after a break-in, as the highest diamond bones dull or are lost. So the advantage is speed. The diamonds are fixed rigidly on a flat surface, so they cut aggressively and consistently. The plate stays very flat in normal use, so there's no dishing and usually no flattening needed. The trade-off, however, is that the abrasive is a finite resource. Then, to the resin-bonded diamond stones. In a resin-bonded diamond stone, the diamonds are mixed into resin matrix. As you sharpen, the resin wears away and exposes fresh diamond underneath. So unlike a plated stone, a resin-bonded stone refreshes its cutting surface. The bond is also more compliant, so the cut is usually smoother and less aggressive than electroplated diamonds. It's very good for finishing, and it's less suited for heavy stock removal or reprofiling. Then you have the vitrified diamond or CBM. So vitrified stones use a ceramic bond to hold diamond or CBM particles. It's harder than resin, but it still wears gradually and exposes fresh abrasive over time. It's something between the rigid aggression of electroplated and the softer self-refreshing behavior of resin. They are expensive but very long lasting. Then you have the water stones. Water stones use abrasive particles like aluminum oxide or silicon carbide, held in a relatively soft bond. And as you sharpen, the bond releases worn abrasive and exposes fresh particles. Many water stones also generate slurry, and that slurry contributes to the finish. The trade-off is that many water stones wear faster and dish more than diamond plates, so they need periodic flattening. The wear rate varies a lot depending on the stone and the bond. And then lastly, you have the ceramic stone. So these stones, like Spyderco's, are made from alumina-based ceramic and fired at extremely high temperatures. Spyderco describes their stones as synthetic sapphire particles held in a binder and kiln-fired around 3000 Fahrenheit. Compared with diamond plates, ceramic stones cut more slowly, but they wear very, very slowly and stay flat for a long time. They also require no oil or water, which makes them simple and clean to use. The downside, however, is speed. For heavy reprofiling, a ceramic stone will take much longer than a coarse diamond plate. So why does this matter? The Sharpal and the DMT are both electroplated, same type of stone. The question is whether one company got the grit rating right and the other did not. So back to the microscope. So the 600 now. The normal grain size for the 600 grit is roughly 25 to 26 microns. The bulk of the measurements cluster around between 20 and 30 microns. That is right where they should be for a 600 grit stone. So the distribution is nice and tight. There are no wild outliers, no dramatically oversized grains. This stone gets a solid pass. Then we move to the 1000 stone. So normal grain size for 1000 grit is roughly between 9 to 15 microns, depending on the standard. So I measured 36 grains on this stone. The bulk clustered tightly between 12 and 17 microns, with a few readings down at 10 and a couple of mild outliers at 19 and 24. That is right where a 1000 grit stone should be. The distribution is also tight and the coverage is even, and this stone has been well used, meaning the abrasive field has settled in, no rogue particles, no bald spots, no sign of oversized contamination. This stone passes comfortably, and that matters because this is the stone that sets the baseline edge before the DMT takes over. Okay, let's do a quick quality check summary. So across 4 Sharpal stones, the 220 grit failed because the grains measured between 100 and 140 microns. This is closer to 150 grit. The 325 grit failed as well because the grains measured between 55 to 85 microns, and that is closer to 220 grit. The 600 grit passes with grains between 20 and 30 microns, perfectly within spec, and 1000 grit passes as well, 36 grains measured with a bulk between 12 to 17 microns within spec, and it has a tight distribution. So the coarse Sharpal stones are graded roughly 1 grit step too aggressive. The fine stones are within spec. So this is not a blanket condemnation of Sharpal. The 600 and 1000 are doing their job. But if you own 220 or 325, you should know you are probably working with a coarser stone than you think. That also means the edge I am about to show you was built on a legitimate 600 and 1000 grit progression, even though the first two stones were coarser than labeled. The baseline is still valid. Now let's see what the DMT can do. The DMT 4000. So the normal grain size for 4000 grit is roughly 2 to 6 microns. The bulk of the measurements fall right into the expected range. The 8 to 10 micron readings are on the high side, and the 10.7 is a genuine outlier, but overall the distribution is tight and the abrasive field looks even. So under top lighting, the diamond coverage is well distributed with no obvious empty patches or clustering. Under side lighting, the protrusion looks consistent. No single grain dramatically sticking up above the rest. So at this grit level, consistency matters more than everything else, because a few oversized grains would leave scratches that do not belong there. This stone looks like a properly graded, well-manufactured plate. There are a couple of smooth, reflective spots visible on the surface. These do not look like diamond grains. They lack this angular, faceted texture of the surrounding abrasive, and most likely these are areas where a diamond has been pulled out during use. Whether they affect edge performance is something the microscope footage of the edge will answer. Let's look at the 1000 grit edge under the microscope. So here is the edge after the 1000 grit Sharpal. This is the reference point for everything that follows. You can see a clearly defined sketch pattern. The grooves are relatively pronounced. They are fairly consistent in direction, but they are not subtle. This is a very good baseline because now the question is simple. What do the 4000 and the 8000 actually do to this pattern? So after the 4000, let's look at it. Yes, it refines the edge. The scratch pattern is finer than the 1000 baseline. The individual scratches look shallower and are definitely less aggressive, but the changes are not dramatic at all. In some areas you can still see those deeper lines that either came from the previous grid or have not been fully erased yet. I would describe the 4000 as a real refinement step, definitely a step forward, but not the big visual jump. So the 4000 does its job, it cleans things up and it tightens the pattern, but it definitely leaves room for the 8000. The 8000. So normal grain size for the 8000 is roughly 1 to 3 microns. The fine grains on this stone measure between 1.9 and 2.9 microns. That is exactly where an 8000 grit diamond stone should be. The clustering is tight. But there are also some outliers. So there's an 11, 14 micron, 17 micron, another 17 micron, and then even one at 31 microns. So here I need to be clear about what I can and cannot determine from the image. The 31 micron feature has a different visual character. It looks smoother and brighter than the surrounding diamond field. That looks more like diamond tear out or an exposed nickel blob than an actual 31 micron diamond grain sitting at an 8000 surface. The 11 to 17 micron features, those are harder to call. If those are actual diamond grains, they are 1000 grit particles on an 8000 surface, which would be grit contamination either way. If they are tear out debris or nickel artifacts, they are just cosmetic imperfections. I also see some empty gaps in the diamond field and several metallic looking reflective spots scattered across the surface. So the honest answer is, this stone surface is not as clean as the 4000. There are things on this plate that should not be there, or at least should not look the way they do. But a stone can look imperfect under magnification and still perform quite well. What matters is whether any of this actually shows up in the edge. So okay, here let's take a look at this 8000 edge. And this is where the progression becomes very, very obvious. So compared to the 1000 baseline, the scratch pattern is dramatically finer. Compared to the 4000, it is cleaner, more even, more refined. The apex looks more continuous and the finish is much more uniform. The overall look of the bevel is simply calmer. There is less visual aggression, less random variation, much more consistency. And whatever those bright spots and outliers on the plate are, they are clearly not preventing this stone from producing a very refined edge. There are no random deep scratches, no sign that a 17 micron particle dragged across the surface and left a mark. So this is the point where I stop looking at the stone and start trusting the result. Let's do a quick cut test on this paper. So this is the Delica that has just been sharpened on this stone. So yeah, that's razor sharp. So it cuts swirls. Let's see if it actually shaves hair. It does shave hair and it shaves hair very, very well. Yes. So this is razor sharp. It hasn't even been stropped. This is coming fresh off the stone. So, in conclusion, there are two things to take away from this video. First, the quality check. The Sharpal 220 and 325 are graded roughly 1 grit step too fine. Too coarse, I mean. The 600 and 1000 are within spec. This is a specific finding based on measurements, not a blanket statement. If you own a coarse Sharpal stone, it works, but it's just a little bit coarser than advertised. And second, the DMT Dia-Sharp 4000 and 8000. So the 4000 gives meaningful refinement over 1000 grit starting point. The grain sizes are within spec, distribution is even, and the edge shows real improvement. The 8000, however, goes much further. The fine grains are tightly clustered right where an 8000 grit should be. The stone surface has some cosmetic imperfections, as we have seen, outliers, reflective spot, gaps, but none of that shows up in the edge result. And in actual use, the edge coming off this 8000 is extremely sharp. It shaves, it cuts aggressively, without stropping, no compound, just off of this stone. And importantly, I'm not asking you to take my word for it. You can see the refinement in the microscope footage. That is what matters. That edge is the test, and the edge looks very good. So if you like this video, please subscribe. There is another video up here you can watch on sharpening. See you guys later.